Afternoon. David Shine here with close friend, top trader, Mark Melnick. I wanted to just introduce him again to the community, as we have a nice sized audience out there today. Obviously the market has been super volatile recently. I'd like to, in this segment for Mark, I'd like to dive right into people asking to break down certain charts. As you guys know, Mark is a proficient technician out there, and he's available for people to ask about names and stocks and ideas and concepts. And remember, it's not trading advice, and you shouldn't act upon them, but what he will do is break down certain charts and what he sees technically, which is really mathematically. Remember, for me, my perspective on technical analysis is an extra crutch that people can use out there, an extra little percentage advantage that you'll get by using technical analysis to be able to say, hey, that's a point where maybe other people might be seeing that spot. And if you see that spot and everybody else is seeing that spot, that may be the, as 8-Ball calls it, the inflection point. That may be an area where people pivot points, as we talk about reversals, where the masses, the sellers stop potentially. If you're looking at the long side, sellers stop, and then you have the buyers coming in at that point, and vice versa. So I want you guys, PCX, no gyros for you. It's a great one. PCX. I'm gonna hop off the screen, and I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mark, and he's gonna tear a couple of these names apart for you. Hopefully you can see the screen and you hear everything nice and tight. And feel free to go over some of these charts. Let me just change it over to this screen, so stand by for a minute. Go quick chart of PCX up there. Let's talk about time frame. Let's talk about how people look at things out there. Remember, we are not combining different time frames. Okay, so we're not combining a short-term trade that turns into a long-term trade. And those of you who are taking the education next week, and again, it's not too late to sign up. I recommend it for everybody, as it's like, you're not going to get into an airplane without taking lessons and being in the flight simulator and everything else before you hop in, because you may crash and burn. Same thing in the stock market. Get your education. But when I talk about education, one of the main things that I focus on also is to make sure that a person doesn't combine their short-term trade into a long-term trade. Why? Well, actually, I should correct that. The only time you change a short-term trade into a long-term trade is if you're positive on the name. But when you're in a trade and you want to make 20 cents to the upside, all of a sudden you're down 40, 50 cents to the downside. Do not continue that long-term trade and turn that little chop trade you wanted to make a little into a long-term big loser, and it makes you into a big loser. So the only time you're doing that is you're working. If you're working in the right direction, your stock is working for you, your trade's working for you, it's pushing to the right direction for you, and you want to hold a winning position to exploit that to the upside. Otherwise, keep your time frames separate. Okay, keep your ideas separate. Your time frame is the key. So if you want to make a short-term trade and make 50 cents, great. And if you lose 20 cents, great. But that's a short-term trade, and you don't change it and say, all of a sudden I'm becoming a long-term investor in this thing because I'm wrong. And it's just not something that we do. We focus on our time frame. That's why it's important when you guys ask also about your that's great. Some great stuff coming in. But guys, when you remember, you're not changing that time frame. All right, you're either a short-term trade. That's a short-term trade. There's a medium-term trade, a long-term trade, and don't get them confused. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to Eminem, and he's going to take you guys from here. Hold on.
Hey guys, welcome everyone back to Shine's Room. As you can see, I don't have the charts that I generally use up, but we're going to bear with these today. It's going to be a little bit more of a lightning round. We're going to talk a little bit about Greece, and then we're going to get right into some technical analysis. Just wearing this headset and everything and sitting here. I know how it feels to be the most attractive man in the world. As of this moment, it's just a phenomenal feeling right now. I get to be David Shine for one moment in time. Very interesting day here today. You know it's Thursday. You know we're running into quadruple witching tomorrow. We know those Greek elections are coming right around the corner right now. We know traders are going to have to set up. So with the combination of quadruple witching with the setting up of positions prior to the Sunday Greek elections, I am expecting a lot of volatility in the market tomorrow. We're talking Qs and not just more volatility due to quadruple witching Friday, but with the Greek elections as well. As you do know, traders will be setting up into the weekend, trying to make the guess, trying to make the bet. You could play it either way. You could be in before. You could try to bet on how they're going to act. Of course, we're looking for potential potential elections here. If the new republic gets elected, this could have a very negative impact here on the euro. It could have a positive impact on the euro. You need to see how these elections pan out so you know how you're better prepared. So if you want the conviction through the Greek elections, you have to put on these positions after they take place. If you want the conviction prior, if you are predicting where these elections might potentially go, you have up until tomorrow to make that bet. So, without further ado, we're just digesting here in the markets here today. Let's take a look at the triple Qs here really quickly. We're going to take a look at the daily chart. Not much happening, still digesting in this major bear flag range. We know we've been having a very churny type market. Take a look at these daily candles, frog in a blender type action. Green bar, red bar, green bar, red bar, green bar, red bar, and now we're putting in green today. Do we have red tomorrow? Who knows? As traders sit there and prepare for these elections coming up in Greece, you know that's going to have a heavy impact on the euro, and you know that you must be prepared for this situation. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into some stock charts. Sick call on the bottoming out of the market, sick call at the topping out where we needed to be. We are reading these stocks in and out. It was just some phenomenal calls, phenomenal work with the community, and phenomenal sharing within the broadcast. So without further ado, if you guys would like, I'm going to just put in a bunch of minus signs right there under Shine On, and if you guys have any stock, just the symbol and the time frame you're watching, and we'll break down from some stocks for you guys right now. Jim Oscar Yankee right now. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here real quickly for Joy, and you could see exactly what's happening. Nice little pop-up here in the morning forming a bull flag. Now you sort of have that continuation pattern, a little bit of a digestion. Just keep in mind on this 5-minute setup right now, you do have a bit of a bullish falling wedge right here, and I could just draw it right here to denote it. And your resolution is coming between now and the next 15 minutes as the wedge does get to potentially the zenith point where the resistance and the support level hit. Keep a very close eye on that. Take a look at the daily right here. Not a nice story here for Joy Global. Underlying daily support right now. Key level to watch, $53.25, as the stock has been in more of the frog in a blender again type range alongside with the market putting in green, red, green, red, green, red. You see a pattern here, people? It's shaking everybody out. Movements like this shake out the week long, shake out the week shorts, because anybody with a tight risk reward parameter, which is what you are taught to do, is getting stopped out of their positions up and down. You have to realize what you're looking at. Beautiful look here at the Joy Global Daily. Let's just see what kind of descending channel we have here. And then we could look, does the parallel line hit? Oh, wow, perfectly. How nice. Overhead descending channel resistance for Joy Global, $57.93. Underlying daily support a lot lower. Triggered to the downside. Key level to watch, $53.25, denoted right here by your June 4th low. And just keep an eye on these levels. You're still in a very bearish range for Joy Global. Not much happening. And again, back to the 5-minute chart, you have a bit of a bullish falling wedge. Again, know your time frames. Could be a potential hyper scalp long with a longer term bearish short on the overall picture. It just depends on how far your microscope is zoomed in and out. We're going to take a look at Nike. Taking a look for a potential swing trade there on Nike. Well, what can I say? We broke through 100. This thing was on the Shine's $100 list when the stock was trading in the 80s. Stock, beautiful ramp up, was able to catch those calls, played it to the upside, and was selling at $100. Then the stock decided to run to $110, and then kept going up, ramped up, got all the way as high as 114.81. That is an all-time high on Nike. just a month or two ago, and now you see the big pullback in Nike. Underlying daily support for Nike, $98.70. We got as low today as $114. You still never touched that $100 whole number level. That is the path of least resistance to me. I want to see a test of Nike, $100. You have underlying daily support right here on your January 19th low, $100.52, and you just broke that level. So again, the underlying daily support does come in at your January 18th low, $98.70, forming a bear flagpole as you're speaking there on the daily. I'm going to take a look at NVIDIA right now. West side, yo. West side, yo. NVIDIA, big drop from its recent highs as well here. You see it hit a high on February 15th, $16.90, forming a bit of a descending channel right here. And again, if you, I am using freestockcharts.com. If any of you guys like any of these charts, just give me a holler at the end of this thing and I'll be sure to link it for you. Beautiful descending channel right now on NVIDIA. Overhead descending channel resistance, $12.67. Underlying technical support, your trigger to the downside will be $11.63, a bit far away. Again, looking for that path of least resistance, and I want to see a test in this stock of overhead descending channel resistance, and that will give me a little more conviction in the name. So still in a bearish channel overall for NVIDIA. Dendrion, you want to take a look at the intraday channel? No problem. We're going to take a look at the 5-minute. What a call today, looking for that 60 level to break, and then we broke up and we headed down, and there was a lot of choppiness in between. Bottom line, my trigger, beautiful explosion through my trigger in the stock here this morning, as I do know a lot of our traders here have capitalized on this name here today, and you're just taking a look right now, sort of a very flat channel, slightly descending in a very tight digestive range. What this stock needs right now is the volume to form a resolution. Underlying technical descending channel support at the moment, $7.53. Overhead resistance coming in right now, $7.82. That's in Derek Nancy, Dendrion. Deal reporter. All right. Unless we got any more questions, we're just going to get right back to the live market action. And again, traders just basically, again, waiting on the sidelines, waiting to see what can happen with this market. Are we going to try to make another push up? Who is going to get elected in Greece? And you have to realize as a trader, the positions that you are going to take tomorrow into the weekend are going to be very high risk, high reward positions, as you are waiting to see how the Eurozone will be affected based on the Greek election. So that is basically what we're looking for. Let the market digest. There's going to be a lot of interesting option plays here tomorrow. Quadruple witching. Also the last day of trading here before those elections. So you got to be prepared for it. Do your technicals. Happy trading. Make money. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I will see you guys on the live.